Now we'll continue the debate about resilience, but we'll dive deep into banking system, and I'll invite Antoaneta Curteanu, Head of Retail Banking Unicredit Bank Romania, to join us. Roxana Petria, Tribe Lead Customer Engagement, Retail Banking, also from ING Romania, and Ionuț Encescu, Head of Product and Digital Innovation Hub at First Bank. Okay, so thank you for joining us, and I will start right away because we have like 5 minutes late, but I will start from Antoaneta, and I will ask you about the last financial crisis. I know that it's a typical question, but we were heavily hit, and especially the banks were heavily hit in 2007, 2008. It's of course different right now, so these days it seems banks are in a better position to face adversities and to face maybe a potential recession. Can you explain us why this time is different for banks and for Unicredit, of course?
Thank you for the question. It's working? Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you for the question. Expected ones. Actually, Dan anticipated a little bit the subject. It is different. Compared with 2008, banking system is much more prepared, more solid. And the crisis in 2008 was somehow the banking crisis, and the banking was the problem at that time, if you remember. Now we are part of the solution. Especially in Romania, we have a very strong, solid banking system with a growth in the last year which put the basis of a resilient system. And just to give you few data, even Dan is the expert in the KPIs, I will tell you the growth rate of the banking system in terms of asset last year, this year compared with last year, 15.9%, and also 2021 was a very good one compared with 2020, with more than 14%. So the assets are growing, the companies are credited by the sector and the individuals also. And we have also very good liquidity ratio. Solvency is more than 20%, so well above the regulatory KPIs given by the central bank. So yes, there is a strong banking system ready to face any adversities. And we were mentioning also the growth from the companies' point of view. Yes, companies' lending is growing much faster. Actually, this year grew with double digit. So the banks are lending to companies quite with appetite, while for individuals we see a slowdown, and starting with consumption, with the consumer finance, but also mortgage. So we expect this year a slowdown. And we'll see for the next year what will happen, but definitely in the overall banking system, it's ready to take part of the unfavorable conditions. And talking about also about Unicredit, that we are ready to support the customers even in difficult times. We see now the prices of energy going up. We see the wages, the inflation hit. So there is a certain, let's say, sentiment of fragility around us. But we feel prepared, and we are giving the advice to the customers. We learn from the past mistakes of the system. And being together in this, I think, will be the first step to overcome the next steps.
And in terms of non-performing loans, do you have like an estimate maybe for next year at least?
Next year we see a slowdown in the economy, as also was said earlier. So the rate of growth of loans, it's hand in hand with the economic growth. So this year we are growing very nicely, and nothing can stop us until the end of the year. We are more than 6.3, 6.4% GDP growth for Romania this year, while the CE area around us is slower with 4.2, 4.3. For next year, we see a slowdown to between 1 and 2% growth. So this will mean also a slowdown in the lending activity. And we see also growing of the credit risk. Because when the economy slows down, also the non-performing loans, the credit risk is going up. So there is a clear correlation. So we see next year quite more sensitive year to grow. So that's why we need to base our decision on a very, very wise analysis. I don't know if I answered, but I can speak more about this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I will go to Roxana and ask you almost the same question about what strategy does ING have for helping clients that struggle with debt, considering interest rates that skyrocketed in the last month.
Thank you. Razvan, I think I'm going to speak about private individuals. I'm
of course.
in the retail banking side of ING. And I can tell you that indeed rising interest rates are a first sign of concern already when you see clients in difficulty, and we have our channels through which we feel when clients have difficulties, and then our strategy is to actually go proactive to them with solutions. We are thinking of offering them either short-term solutions if the difficulty is of that nature, like a grace period, or maybe if the difficulty seems to be on a longer term, then we are thinking more extending the duration of the loan, or even changing conversion of the rate from like ROBOR to IRCC. This is something that it's natural to happen, and I think we are all very unfortunate that this is like the third, let's not call it a crisis, like event in the last years after the pandemic, the war, now the inflation. So we don't give clients a break, we don't give ourselves a break. But this is a fact of life, actually, resilience, because you called this panel the resilience one. It has become part of our way of doing things. And yes, we think this will continue also in the coming period.
Okay, got it. Ionuț, I will slightly alter the question because, and I ask you if you have noticed any increase in demand for refinancing. I know that you also have a product that you launch on the market. What do you expect in terms of refinancing for the last part of the year and for 2023?
I mean, this year at least lending for companies went quite well. So banks have, I would say, have lended quite a lot to companies. I would put, so I'm a business person. When somebody tells me about a crisis, the first thing that comes to my mind is opportunity. So if you probably had here 3 CROs or 3 CFOs, you would have had another discourse. I'm looking at the opportunities that this period is bringing us. And as generally, it's easier for somebody to look into another industry than into its own industry. And I start from a very simple premise, that is, if our customers are well off, then we are also well off. So we are looking into the industries of our customers. We are looking to see what their problems are, how can we provide solutions for their problems, looking all the time to the legislation, how it changes. And I would give you only a very short example of our green loan for companies that practically built on 2 things: the fact that the energy price grew a lot, and from growing energy prices we saw that the fact that if 3 years ago an investment in energy, green energy, would have been amortized in 15 years, nowadays it's amortized in only a few years, very few years. So from growing energy prices, from practically the new legislation that came at the end of the last year, and this what it was implemented in the beginning of this year, we came up with an end-to-end solutions for our customers. So not only providing them loans, because actually, let's face it, nobody wants a loan. They want a solution. They want to solve a problem that they already have in their activity. Having partners that do the project, providing simulators, providing presentations, providing the information in the due time. So I am sure that we can find a lot of opportunities. Still working on others.
And for retail clients, maybe
It may be similar opportunities also for retail clients. We went towards practically towards company the first, and I would say that the easiest way and the fastest way, the one that is longer term, is to offer lending products faster to individuals. But actually, I would say that they have the same issues with energy that the companies have.
I will go now to the digitization part, because I know that you are all involved in a project of digitizing different flows in the banks. So I will ask you, Antoaneta, about if you think that digitization will help banks thrive during a downturn more easily, when in 2007, 2008 we didn't have a lot of digital banking. It was at the beginning, let's say. So in which ways can all the investment in digital channels help banks right now?
Yeah, absolutely. You put a close question, because the answer is yes, yes, yes. But,
but in which ways?
2008, yeah, we were not discussing about this project in such a manner. Of course, the latest crisis, 2020-21, pushed us to become digital, and when we were pushed by the situation, everybody reacted in a very, very strong way. Actually, the digitization, as you said, it was the catalyst of last year, and it is also for us in Unicredit the backbone of our strategy in the last years. We invested a lot here. Actually, we started a little bit earlier than this crisis, and the results are shown. But definitely this is the way to go. We cannot go back. We are spending lots of money here. I hope the clients are feeling these new products, the easiness to work with the banks lately. I think all the banks are investing a lot here. And also barrier costs are going down for our products. What I can say that even though the banking system is spending a lot of money, still we have to do many things also at the governmental level in terms of digitizing the databases, because only on our side it's not enough. And I will just give the example of database for the population, for the police, for example, or enough interface to see the fiscal revenues of the population, or the legislation for remote onboarding, digital onboarding. We have to work a lot also on the other side to make the things smoothly for the customers. But definitely there is a lobby, there is a push from our part, banks, to improve these things, which is happening as we speak. So definitely this is a one-way direction to digitize. Clients learn very fast, and their life is becoming easier. A lot of money spent, as I mentioned. I will just give a few examples of simple products which may change the life of the clients. For example, we just launched the virtual cards in the mobile banking. So you don't need the plastic, you are instantly issuing another card and ready to pay everywhere. Then paying with the QR code with the mobile banking and withdrawing money from the ATMs. And also mobile, the personal loan credit from the mobile banking in a couple of minutes. So this will become commodity soon. These are things which we invest in, and they are live. And the list is very long to continue to, so the money is well spent there. So this is the direction, and count on us that the things are, and we are competing with each other actually, and this is a good competition, because at the end the clients will benefit out of this. Thank you.
Thank you also. Roxana, I will ask you about, and I know that clients are happy, clients are difficult to find, and especially during a period of rising interest rates. So how did ING prepare for such a period to make customers happy, to keep them happy, because we know that when it's a tough period, you don't look very, very favorable to banks?
That's an easy question, Răzvan. Talking about clients and having clients in mind, this is continues to be our focus. Actually, ING Group strategies relying on two pillars, and one of them is sustainability. This is very new. You hear it almost every second commercial on TV. It's about sustainability, but this is a serious thing. So first pillar for us is sustainability, which is for the people. This is built for the people. And the second one is customer experience. And saying this, yes, we are repeating ourselves. We cannot say more about customer experience. We are all struggling to do it better and better, and I think some of the processes are already at very good standards in Romanian banking market. This is the advantage of being a rather new market in banking. We keep our clients happy, first of all, by thinking of their needs. We always put their needs at our heart. And digitization is not at any price. Sometimes it's nice to have features that are, wow, did you think of that? But it's very, very important. Apart from delighting the client, it's very important to be covering a need, a pain point that is there. And there for us, for the coming period, I will say this, we are thinking very much of the family as an ecosystem, because clients are humans that spend their lives with their families. We want to ease their life. And we are thinking now, okay, youth, younger children, and how we can make their lives better and easier, and also ensuring the future of banking, because yes, generations go by, young people have, I would say, we are young, but they are really young, and they speak differently, they communicate differently. We need to address them with different messages and to adapt to their needs. When we started banking, we were in our 20s. They're different. I'm telling you this was a surprise for me this year, and we are very committed to address these new segments with more care for the future.
Would you say that sustainability and, I don't know, customer experience will be like enough in a tougher period?
Yeah. We do in banking so many things, and all of you probably know it, that it's good to have strategic objectives that you should not miss. But apart from that, the basic of the pyramid is there, and I think from the point of view of the resilience, banking, as any other company, but banking especially is very much regulated, and resilience is the name of the game for us. From testing of stress testing on the loan portfolio, on the markets and so on. Sometimes, you need a crisis to know that you are not working for nothing when all these many committees in risk management, so many times, yes, we need them. We are becoming very sophisticated, but yes, sustainability and customer experience, we believe in ING there will be differentiators, but they are not enough. You need to do everything else also.
Okay. Antoaneta, do you find any more differentiators here in terms of how can a bank help clients during a downturn?
Yes, I would say, can you hear me?
Yeah.
One point, as mentioned, about young people and digitalization, it came to my mind that my son will never go to the bank physically. So digitalization is something which is needed, and it's a must for young generation, as you mentioned. So this is one part. And how we will help the young generation? Yeah, actually they are helping us to move in the right direction, because sometimes we are too much busy with our busyness to be busy, and we need to look to the customer experience and young generation to create the products they need. And digitalization is the base for this.
And Antoaneta, I think what you mentioned about the public authorities giving access to databases and really simplifying the way we work with our clients can make a big difference. And I'm really hopeful that we can do this in Romania. Now I saw the signs, and I really hope we can do it all together for our clients.
Absolutely.
Okay, Ionuț, I'm curious about, I know that you did a lot of investments in digital transformation, video banking. What are the results? I mean, in terms of ROI, you are good right now, and you expect also First Bank to continue these investments during next year?
Actually, to build upon what my colleagues said before, our motto is digital with human touch. So we have channels for the three segments of population. Of course, many of the current population, when you ask them where is your bank, many of the people now will show you here. However, even if mobile and internet banking is growing, branches still have importance. And also digital interaction with a human from a distance. So we have branches, we have video bank for those that are not that digitally ready. And of course, we have mobile and internet banking in order to cover as many as the segments of needs of the segments of the population.
Okay, got it. And speaking about the video flow that you've developed, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, I know that it was a first, at least in Romania then, but I was curious what major friction points you have observed and what lessons have you learned from user interactions?
I would say that we are continuously improving both our IT tools for the monitoring of the system, because the customers want the pages to load fast. They cannot wait more than 2 or 3 seconds at most. They want the system to work correctly all the time in an environment where we have so many devices, so many operating systems. So it's there are let's say many and very small friction points that we have to continuously work upon and monitor and improve. We have to have very good monitoring in place and thinking of the needs of the customers all the time.
Okay, I will start now a new topic about the younger generations. Roxana also mentioned this before, and but before that, I would ask you about digital savvy clients. In 2007, 2008, we didn't have a lot of digital clients in banks, but now you all have a good portion of your clients are digital savvy, are using mobile banking and so on. Do you expect these clients to be, I don't know, more resilient to a crisis, and that's why you will expect like lower default rates for this segment of clients?
This question is made by several questions.
Yeah.
Put together everything. So definitely a digital client is prepared to face. Sorry, now it's okay. Sorry. No. So definitely a digital client is prepared to face adversities much faster because he's more informed, he can have alternative chances, he's faster, he can understand better to make the eligibility criteria, for example, for a loan. So definitely they are more prepared. But I wouldn't say that they will have less non-performing loans. I don't think there is such an analysis in Romanian market, but it's a good idea to start doing such a thing. Of course, being better informed, you are ready to make a better plan for your cash flow as a family, as a company, and then you can see the alternative and take the right decision and speak with your banker in times of downturn. For example, downturn can mean that your eligible income is going down, you have the debt to income ratio higher, so you need to decide what to spend and what not to spend anymore. Or you have already problems in the existing debts, like not be able to pay the normal installments of a loan. And then you need to talk with your banker, you need to openly discuss in an early stage and make a plan either for postponement of some installments, either for grace period and prolongation the term of the loan. So we do have solutions as long as they are early discussed and not to be put in the impasse in the last minute. So it's each of us job as a family, as a company, to use these digital means to inform each other, you have all our offers in online now, you know, and you can compare. So definitely the life is easier. But this is not the recipe for not having non-performing loans. So problems might appear. So, thank you.
I would add that digital people with digital acumen, let's say, can be informed faster. So if you get the information faster, then you can react faster. And the faster you react, the better you behave afterwards in payment.
I can add that indeed we don't have a study about if they are more resilient than the older generation. On the other hand, they are being informed, they are easily being informed. What we have learned in a study that we did recently was that this young generation that we initially assumed they don't really need to go to branches. We thought they are digital, they are rather doing it by themselves. We were surprised that at least when they start the relationship with the bank, they do expect, they take it seriously and they do want to speak to a human person. And I think this is an important thing. They will need the same advice. And also because I mentioned sustainability, it's very sad. Now we are looking at all this information about it. And we learned that, yes, among the countries where ING Group is being represented, Romania is the last one in the range of financial education among their clients. So we are at only 24% of them being financially educated, while in Western Europe it's around 40%. So it's a lot of things to be done there, and we can do them in a smart way. Let's not just spam them with messages, but let's find indeed the right moment, the right relevant moment when they are listening it and they are going to use it. We need to grow up in this sense, and we can be part of it. This is the good part.
I know that a small portion, maybe, I don't know the percent, but a portion of your clients are Gen Zers, so very young people. Do you know how do they relate to money and what to expect from them in a tougher period? I mean, I know that they didn't pass through a crisis before, but...
I can answer this one because we are just launching a new communication that is being addressed to these very young Gen Zs. We put it under the umbrella Free at ING. We know what they expect. Some of the things we kind of knew, but they were reconfirmed by us. They do expect no costs because they are at the beginning of their life. They do want to get independence, financial independence. They do like the discounts. And they do want to save.
Do they like loans?
They do not mention this. Some of them, if you go to a niche of students that they want to take loans to studies and so on, you will hear them verbalize it. Otherwise, they are rather at the moment of the career when they actually would like to start saving. They don't trust themselves to be able to do it. So it's more like this. Yeah.
Okay.
I will say that the parents and the education, the banking education, we do have a very good role here to prepare them for the future. But yes, they don't think of too much of loans. And we need to teach them what a loan is and how to save money every month, some small amount to put it in a saving account. And I think this is our role also as a banks and as a families. And also we do have some products for juniors also, or for minors, but they are under the supervision of the parents. So always the parent can see for the junior card where they spend and how much, and there is a limit, and some, let's say, restricted type of expenses which they can do with that card. But it's a process, as you said, it's an educational process. We need to put together the effort to improve this because they are our future. Thank you.
Ionuț, how do youngsters are relating to American proposition?
There are two things: the brand image that is clearly taking you to the idea of being free and realizing your dreams, and at the same time the platform that you can offer to young customers. And of course they are more prone to going digital, to using mobile devices. Yes, from time to time, as Roxana said before, they also need to probably go to a branch when they take a life decision. However, in their case, the excellence of the digital channels is more important, and this is why, let's say, we at First Bank we are always looking in the stores at the stars grades that we are receiving in both Google Play and Apple Store. So that is a very important indicator for us. we are following, and we want to stay in the top. That means that really in a democratic way, customers are appreciating us when we see 4.7, 4.8, 4.9 in the store. Then we really feel happy. We kind of know that we deliver the right thing.
I will approach now maybe a subject you also know very well about financial education, and during the last 20 years, I guess, there were a lot of problems with financial education. We had a lot of non-performing loans caused by not having enough financial education. Also, maybe some of the Swiss franc crisis, maybe also related to financial education. But in the last, I don't know, 10, 12 years, did authorities and banks as well have done enough in this in financial education to prevent maybe a lot of bad decisions that clients will take or had taken?
Yeah, I will answer first. It's never enough. It's clear that the lessons were learned, but it's never enough education. And speaking about the French francs loans, and everybody learned this lesson. And also central bank imposed some new regulation for the way how debt to income is calculated to the individual, so you cannot make these mistakes again. There is also an exchange rate for the loans in foreign currencies to be taken into calculation. So regulator also is pushing us towards the more restrictive way, not to make the same mistakes. But talking about the education of the clients, there is a continuous process. And we are doing a lot of seminars and workshops together with Amundi, which is our partner, the largest investment fund for Europe. And we are trying to teach clients how to invest, where to invest, and how to save the money on medium and long term. And also for the companies, and here the companies are going more to the branches, as we discussed. Over there, the role of the relationship manager, when the company is making the business business case, a business plan for a certain investment, for a certain expansion of their business, it's also an educational process, how to put your expenses into the flow and timeline, and to calculate all the risk in a certain cash flow to trust. So there is a permanent education for individuals and for companies, and I think we reach at the level of maturity in the Romanian sector, which cannot be comparable with what happened 10, 12 years ago. So I think we are in a good direction, but it is never enough, this part of education. Thank you.
I would say that for the lending part, indeed, the regulation is quite strict, and I think we are no longer in the situation that happened a few years ago. But I would also confirm the fact that rather thinking long term, it's one thing that Romanians don't do, we don't do. We simply do not plan for the pensions, for the retirement, for things like that. Very few people really understand having a pension plan or saving for pensions. I think it's a difficult discussion to do with our clients. There are many, many efforts being done in the past already, but it's not enough. I think it has to start for the younger generation, because all the others we will just play it by the ear.
I would clearly say that the lessons of the financial crisis were very well learned by the banks. So that was caused in the financial sector, and the lessons were learned. The legislation was clearly adapted to prevent such situation. I was scouring the internet before coming to this discussion, and I thought I read about the parallel between this potential crisis, I would say, and the energy crisis that took place in the 1970s.
Okay, got it. I think I will have a final question. After that, I will take some questions. We will have like maybe 5 minutes to take questions from the audience. But I heard about debt-to-income ratio. So I think that also Dan covered that before. But Antoaneta, you've told us about the debt-to-income. And you all know the books of the bank you work for. So now, would you say that there is a comfortable margin there to tell us that your clients are prepared for what's next, for a tougher period, because they have little debt related to their income, so they could be prepared for when their income will be lowered or things like that?
No, it's very generic question. I cannot answer for all the clients. I know that the
on average, of course.
But of course, being allowed to be in debt and only 40% from your income, it is a barrier. So you cannot take loan for any other bank more than this amount. So this is, let's say, a safety net. But if you lose the job next month and you don't have other income, and then you have this type of debt and no help in the family, I'm just exaggerating now, we cannot assess this risk of non-performing for that particular individual. But definitely the banking system is more prepared to take some hits in terms of NPL, because, for example, this year the NPL ratio is the lowest ever in the last 10 years. It's 3%. So banking system is really very well prepared with the low NPL, and also very good coverage ratio of for the provision is 65%. So bank put a lot of provision to cover these bad times which might come or not. But for each individual is his judgment, his estimation of his potential situation, and it's better to come and discuss early and to find solution with us. But definitely we are stronger as a banking system, and also clients are not so much indebted like what was in the past. I expect a smoother landing after this crisis. Thank you.
Cool.
Maybe also it's meant to mention that the Romanian market has a specific of having quite a well penetration of insurances next to the lending products, which also helps clients in times of stress to maybe get over such period. But yes.
Yeah.
I would say that we have to do our part. So banks really need to do their parts in order to help customers. There are solutions, as I mentioned before, whereby you replace cash out with another cash out. And if the energy price is growing and if you have an investment in green energy, then you pay a known rate to the bank for that system that you have. And you are no longer, let's say, impacted by the continuously rising prices of energy. So we have to do our part in helping our customers hedge their business and protect their business on long term. So if we are providing these solutions, then we can say that we can do something that can control their financial fate, let's say.
Okay, thank you. And we will have time for 2 questions from the audience. No one?
I was expecting questions on the mortgage loans, on the interest rate, but then it's good that people are still thinking before asking a loan these days, right?
Yeah, speaking of mortgage, it's a tougher decision to take maybe a mortgage loan during these times. Did you sense any downward demand there?
I will continue with what Dan was saying, that affordability of an apartment in Romania is still a good one compared with all the other countries around us. So still it's a good time to invest in an apartment. Of course, depends on the family situation. And yes, it might be a slowdown on the mortgage lending because there is a resilience, there is a very big need of new houses, especially in a few cities of Romania, including Brașov. I saw a very beautiful neighborhood here around the hotel. It's incredible, beautiful. It's like a new city center.
New city.
And definitely there is a slowdown, but still considering the affordability, each family can make the calculation to invest because the prices will still go up, the price of apartments, and the need of new apartments is here in Romania.
building upon what Antoaneta said, actually in Romania we are discussing with real estate, let's say, companies that produce build apartments, and many of the Romanians are still buying apartments in cash. So sometimes apartment looks like a very nice deposit.
Okay, I guess we don't have questions, so we will take a break. And thank you, Antoaneta, Roxana, and Ionuț for being with us today.